It's really for the Periscope brand.
Exactly. We've started now. I just started.
You are hilarious. All right, let's do it.
Go ahead.
And by let's do it, I mean let me do it. Hey, welcome to another exciting episode of Business Growth Time. Evidently, it's episode 61. I just learned that. I found Janet E. Johnson, where the E stands for educated. Hey, Janet, what's up?
Hey. Well, I have this weird thing. We've got to figure something else out so that I don't have this sitting right in the screen. But I want to make sure that I'm paying attention to people on Periscope. So we are Periscope. Is that what it's called? Periscoping today? Is that a word? I don't know.
You're a Periscopian, and you are Periscope-in as we speak, is my understanding.
Exactly. So we've got the we're going to make up our own acronyms. There you go. Why not?
We got time.
You know, then there ends up on Wikipedia, and there you go.
Everybody should have a Wikipedia entry or 6.
Exactly.
All right, so this is kind of a sick, funny story. I'm going to start with it. I got to pitch Al Jean, executive producer and cool cat, one of the head guys, showrunner of The Simpsons, which, if you know me, you know I love The Simpsons. I've been watching since day one. And I got to pitch him an episode the other day via Twitter. I was like, whoa. I still
saw something about that. Now, that is interesting. Now, how did you tell us how you connected with them?
So Twitter? I connected him with him via Twitter, right? So Tedx Detroit's coming up in October. We're always looking for some big names to come that have some roots to Detroit. Turns out, and I didn't know this, Al Jean, one of the guys that was the first writers and wrote many episodes in the early years and has been running the show for about 17 years now, maybe 13, grew up in the same town I did. Like, literally, I grew up in Farmington, Michigan. He grew up in Farmington Hills. He went to high school where many of my friends from elementary school went to high school. I mean, we were that close. And this guy runs, like, my favorite thing in the inanimate thing in the world. It's just crazy. So I said, yeah, I'll reach out to him, and I found him on Twitter, and he follows 12 people. And so I messaged him about TEDx, we chatted for a minute, and now he follows 13 people. It's just like I'm a Android geek right now. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, that is weird. That is weird.
Not my thing, but that would be the only thing I'd ever do about it, though.
Well, it shows that Twitter has power if you're connecting the right way, you know.
Right. It gives you instant reach.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a guy that was at the Emmys last night, maybe 2 nights ago, right? And watching his show collect a handful of awards, and yet I'm just chatting with him because, you know, that's what we do now. That's a cool world.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And that's kind of what spinning Twitter into Periscope and why we're on here, and we were going to talk a little bit about Periscope today. What's your thoughts on Periscope? First off, I want to say Terry didn't even know what he was doing this morning and hopped on because he thought, oh, I'm just going to try it out, and he couldn't get this camera to turn around. And you know, I truly am a believer though. Just do it. I mean, I just did it I was boating on the river. I didn't do it of me because I'm not the one to show me in the bikini, blah, blah, blah. But you know, just boating down the river, the view, somebody asked, hey, can I steal this as a screenshot? It was neat. It was very neat to just test it out. So I think people just need to try it out. So what were your thoughts on trying it out this morning, Terry?
So I was a little surprised, right? I didn't know what I was doing. I downloaded the app in the last hour, right? Because I didn't even know, you've heard me say numerous times, it's not a Droid app. It's not a Droid app. They must have released it in the last, I haven't looked in probably 2 or 3 weeks, but sometime in the last month that this came out and was available for Droid. So it's cool though. It was easy. It was intuitive. They give you a bunch of people to follow instantly that are all people you're connected to on Twitter. Just if you follow 100 of them. I think I followed 50. I got bored. I didn't want all of them, you know. So, and then I pushed a button and I was like, oh, it looks like I'm broadcasting now. But who knew? So I turned and put a little title on, and people started connecting and started commenting, started having conversations. And that was the coolest part, is the instant, immediate feedback. Like you are right there with me, like a web chat in a lot of ways. And it was neat. They actually go through that.
Exactly.
But now that I'm using it for this, ain't nobody paying attention. Nobody. So I went from having 14 or 15 people because it was my first one ever, and going, oh my God, blah blah blah, and nobody cares.
So the whole narcissistic side is yes, exactly. But once again, it's building up a social network. Now, I'd love it. You know, I have a few people on right now. If you guys are on here and watching, please put where you're from. I'd love to hear where you're from, how you kind of saw us. See, it bings on the phone. So it's kind of almost like a text. And so I can see that getting, I mean, I've been on this for a few weeks where I follow quite a few people and hop on and hop off. And it's neat because, you know, I'm just sitting working, whatever. But if you're really focused, you need to make sure that you are maybe not even having the phone near you, because it can become a big ADD type thing. I mean, it's definitely cool, but it definitely can be interruptive. It's like getting texts all day long. So in return, Terry and I just had this discussion. You probably need to be very careful of who you are following, because all of those alerts coming through, it's kind of crazy. So you want to have the people that you really want to make sure that you're following. And some people do 3, 4, 5 scopes a day. So it gets kind of crazy.
What do they talk about? Do they just hop on and just start blathering, or is it like well-polished and kind of presentable material?
It's your type of thing, Terry. It's right up your alley.
It's straight up babbling. I love straight up babbling.
Exactly. There, you got to watch. I'll give a shout out to Sebastian Rusk. We should have him on the show. He was on the show in the past. And he's a social media guy. And what he's been doing is he does a motivation every single morning. So he has a different motivational thing, but he also lives in Miami. So like last night he was at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel doing, walking through. He has like I go, you have the life. I mean, I live in farmland, he's in Miami, right on the beach, So,
the Winniters are in Miami. They got, maybe They could hook them up. Sebastian and Sherry and Brenna could go out and have fun.
Yeah, exactly. I will. Sebastian's a good buddy of mine, and he is on here probably 2, 3, 4 times a day, just hopping on, hopping off, just walking down the road, that kind of thing. But you know what? You need to give value. That is one thing that is very important, is you make sure that when you hop on, you're giving value. Just like what your hashtag work from home dads, that videos that you're doing are giving value. So
have a lesson, right? Someone's got to learn. Right? Mm-hmm. Educating, Janet, educating Johnson. That's you.
You should have saved that for another show. But anyway.
Well, I thought you were going to be educating. We got the Facebook thing coming up, so you're going to be dropping some knowledge there. And, but it's true. I could use it again. No one knows that.
You got it. So that's kind of the deal right now. Is the Periscope is. Try it out. Not only maybe watch a few so that you kind of know what's going on. People ask for hearts all the time. That's another thing. I think I got 1 heart since we've been on. I'm feeling
right now, your whole self-worth is tied to the amount of hearts and views that you get on Periscope. Like, people are going to be offing themselves. They're like, God, I'm been on here 5 times. Don't give me a heart, man. Call their mom and
exactly. Hearts, come on, hearts. So this is a different setup, doing an actual podcast. So this is very, very different. I'm sure, and maybe they're having a hard time hearing you. I have seen people do the screen, so it does work, and I could hear them fine, but it's a little bit more difficult. So it's kind of a different setup. So we're testing it out today. So here is any other things on Periscope. We'll finish up with Periscope. My suggestion is just sign up, watch some Periscopes, kind of learn how it works. Maybe don't be quite like Terry, where he jumped on, he had no idea how to turn off the screen or move over. People explain it. If you swipe right now, how do I send hearts? Oh, good question. Great. You just tap the screen. And you can tap the screen over and over and over again. if you tap your screen on your phone, then it actually gives hearts. So I'm not sure. Go ahead and try it. I didn't see the name of the person that asked that, but that's a very good question. And you can tap up to 500 hearts. Kim Garst actually just came out. She's a social media guru. Shout out to Kim. And she has created an actual course on this already. And she just went over 1 million hearts. So.
Oh my God. 1 million hearts. Are you even kidding me?
I know, so I need hearts. Wendy's on. Okay, Wendy, come on, give me some hearts. We're begging for hearts here.
So wait, when I tap my screen,
Oh, there, see, Wendy's got the hearts. See, I know that was Wendy because I just had a whole bunch of hearts go through.
I flipped through hearts, right? My camera flipped. There's no hearts on it. Maybe instead of broadcasting my Periscope, I should be following yours, and then I could give you.
Wendy just said, I'll give you hearts. I'm giving you hearts. So
for the love of Pete, girl, here's some hearts. All right.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
the one thing,
you have to be the viewer. So as the viewer, you're giving hearts. As the speaker, you can't. The hearts don't.
No, that would. It's like laughing at your own joke. You can't do that. Bad point. No one wants that. Hey, I gave myself a bunch of likes today. Woohoo! I'm on.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I think one thing that I would add is whenever possible, Periscope. I think that will get you hearts. I think that will get you views. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about just in general. Not me in a towel. Not that general. But chicks in towels would probably do really well on this. It's true. So, I'm not going to watch it, but other guys.
Yeah, it's kind of scary what could happen on Periscope. I agree with that.
You kid already. I scrolled for 5 minutes. I saw 3 happy endings. I didn't know what I was looking for. I didn't stay long, but that's what was. Most of them were overseas too. I didn't understand the comment.
Hey Carrie, they're saying you're muffled. Do you have a headset or not?
I do have a headset. Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm thinking that's what it is. But I'm going to go ahead while he gets a headset. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the new news feed because that's the other piece that we wanted to talk about is Facebook, the new feed controls. And a lot of people don't even know, and I'd love to hear if Terry even knows this. On Facebook, on people's pages, when on the like button, you could drop down and tell us on Periscope too, if you knew this, you could add get notifications for any pages that you wanted to, so that you would actually get notifications in the alerted whenever they posted. Did you know about that, Terry, in the past?
I didn't, but I don't use Facebook pages anymore as often as I used to.
Yeah, exactly. But you're looking at some other people's pages. So the average consumer, that's why I wanted to ask you, Terry, because the average consumer, I don't feel is necessarily going to even learn about this. People were trying to get people to pages were saying, hey, make sure you add us to notifications. Make sure you add us to notifications. Well, in the end, I don't think the average consumer ever really caught on to that, okay? So now they've added something else, what's called see first. What does that mean? It means that you're going to see that if you add them to see first, they're going to be showing up in the newsfeed first. And I believe this is just rolling out, and I believe it's actually going to roll out on pages and profiles. So anytime, if you have your friends, you could add the see first on specific people. They're going to show up higher in the newsfeed than the other stuff, junk, whatever. Some of it's junk, definitely. And it's under the light. So I'm not sure if I can show, let's see how I could show this best, but I do have it. So under the light, here we go. I have a lot going on here. And there is see first. So as you can see, it's in the drop down, liked, and then you drop down to see first. So if pages are really, if you love a brand, go ahead and do that. If you love, want to see your friends, go ahead and do that. I don't know if it's out there for some people and it's not out there for others. So it's just kind of one of those rollouts. It could be popular. It could be absolutely nothing, but there's been a lot of articles and a lot of talk about it right now. So see first, it kind of gives brands a little more power in the news feed. because as of right now, they don't have a lot of power.
Well, so from a brand's perspective, that's fantastic news. As a consumer, I can't stand that news. I want to figure out how to see nothing, most likely. And so part of the challenge, or one of the things you said was you didn't think the average consumer really ever figured it out. I think the reality is the average consumer never really cared. Right? You think about the way we are and the way we consume information on Facebook, and we've had this conversation before. I can put something out there that I couldn't care less about and get no sort of feedback, whereas I can put something out that's really, really important, or get tons of feedback, excuse me, and I can put something that's really important to me in front of the people that are supposed to care most about me, and there's almost nothing. And it's like, well, wait a second, shouldn't you try and like what I like? I mean, what's the point here?
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
Facebook for business on your personal page, as much as I want that to be a thing, it's still not a thing. I thought for sure it is. It is. And people don't like that part. They want to have fuzzy cats and fairy dogs and look at my kids' pictures. Unless your kid's over 5, and then your kid's no longer cute. Then they have to like win a championship or do something cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that brings it to the point that you need to, and by the way, Wendy said very good point, Terry. So we have had some interaction.
Yay, Wendy, thank you.
But it brings it to the point, why do we have pages? One of the reasons you have to have a page as a brand or business is if you want to run ads, you have to do that. You can't run an ad through a personal profile anymore. So there are some reasons you need, and if you're Coca-Cola, you can't run that through a personal profile. So there definitely are reasons to have a business page. Granted, I have 2 Jamie D. Johnsons. Wendy, who I'm going to give a shout out to Wendy Pat, because she is on Periscope too. We're actually kind of challenging each other on Periscope, Wendy and I. So we're going to be holding each other accountable. Terry, you could be part of this too if you want. It always helps to hold each other accountable to things. And she has a Wendy Pet. She's got a page. She's got a profile. We've had this discussion so many times, and it's a battle, when you are your name, it's a battle we all have. So should you, shouldn't you? But for her, she just had a Walk It Off Now program that she launched, and we sat down and did some ads for her and figured out some Facebook ads that pushed it out to her people that were already aware of who she was. So this could be a whole show, but it's sending it in front of the people that have actually liked her page, because she has quite a few likes on her fan page, and they already knew who she was, so she made more sales by doing those ads. So it makes sense in some respects to have a page too.
That does make sense, and I have a page too, and it's oddly enough Terry Bean, right? And I've got a networking page and a couple other pages, but I just never got the engagement. And it felt like people had less access to being able to see the content, right? You can tell the views, and that's low, and so less people see it. And I'm not boosting it. I'm not paying for it. Maybe that's part of the challenge. I need to whip out the wallet and spend some dough with Facebook.
It is actually, if you really want to get something out there that's, you got to have a strategy behind it. And we could even do a whole show on a Facebook strategy, because this is a lot of what I teach. But you got to have a strategy behind what's that end goal, because if you're going to spend money, you want to have a reason to spend the money.
All right, so let's do a show where we talk about how to use Facebook to market my book.
There we go. Perfect.
Right, because I can dial in people that have networking in their bio. Right, I know that you can really target really specifically with Facebook ads. So let's use that as an example, and then we can report on it. Right, so that makes it cool info.
Terry gets free coaching. There you go.
Really. And you thought it was a good idea, which is even better. That is really just a smooth talking fool right there. That's what that is.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, what else? Here we've covered Facebook, we've covered Periscope. Now let's talk a little bit about your TEDx experience yesterday and then wrap it up.
Right on. So October 8th at the Fox Theater in Detroit is TEDx Detroit. It's the 7th one we've put on, which is crazy. My pal Charlie Wahlberg was a huge TED fan, and in 2009 when they announced that you could produce your own TEDx event, he grabbed it and has been doing it ever since. And he did a great job of curating stuff and getting the right speakers and the right information, and it's always a great day. There'll be 1,500 to 2,000 people there, which will be kind of an exciting event. So we went and did a little tour of the Fox Theater, and the Fox Theater is gorgeous. There's a lot of stunning architecture in Detroit that most people don't know about because over the last 20, 30, 40 years, some of it's gone down, right? But the Fox has been a gem and has always been exceedingly well maintained. And so it was nice to have the run of that building and walk around and check it out. So we did that and made some big decisions, none of which I'm involved in. I don't do any of the important stuff. I just help promote and tell people about it. But, the engineer and the sound person and the video person and the one that curates labs, Valerie, does such a great job, and Nick Denarnis on the team, both are fantastic.
Wendy was actually, she just popped in. You have to do the ADD thing here.
Yeah.
And she said she was a Dallas candidate for the TEDx.
Really? Very cool.
Yes. You guys will have to connect. Yes.
Absolutely. So is she in Dallas today? Still lives in Dallas?
No, she's in the Minneapolis area.
Oh, she's up in the
She is from Dallas. So.
Okay. Do they do one in the Twin Cities? They must, right? Is there more than one in the Twin Cities TED conferences?
Honestly, Wendy, do you know? I don't know if she's still on. I'll have hers. I don't think so that I know of.
They're cool. If you just ever want to throw something on, just go to YouTube and just type in TED.
She doesn't know either. So yeah, okay. So you can find out.
Thousands of videos. There's so many great and illuminating talks. You can just go to TED.com and watch the actual event. I mean, that event's like $10,000 to get a ticket. It's 1,000 people that are in there, and 9 times out of 10, the audience is every bit as interesting as the person on stage. I mean, and there's been Al Gore delivered his Inconvenient Truth. That was a TED Talk, right? Bill Gates opened up a jar of mosquitoes and let it off in the audience as he was talking about malaria. Yeah,
I'd be running because they all flock to me.
But it's crazy, right? It's ideas worth spreading. So what's your best idea? You've got 15 minutes to share it. Go.
Wow.
And there's powerful stuff if done right.
Yeah. It's very important. I even saw Kim Kardashian did a TEDx talk, which is amazingly funny.
I don't know what to do with that information at all. Don't.
Okay, I left Terry speechless. Well, this is probably a good time to end the show.
Yeah, maybe she should be on Periscope in a towel. That would do well.
There you go. Exactly. Periscope in a towel. Well, that ain't happening. I mean, the worst case scenario, I did the bikini thing, but I didn't show the bikini.
Right.
But I love it. Well, thanks, Wendy, for hopping on. Thanks for whoever else hopped on to the Periscope side of things. And a lot of people do watch the Periscopes later, so that will happen also. Yep. And then we will be launching this show out too, so you guys can watch us on video or listen to us. We would love to have you subscribe to our channel. Or basically, we're on YouTube or Stitcher. I know Terry's kind of more the Stitcher side. I'm the iTunes. So you can subscribe to the podcast. It's called Business Growth Time, or just head to our website and you can find out everything. So thanks, you guys, for your time, and look forward to the next show.
That's my, I'm just showing a quick picture. That's our request to Al Jean of The Simpsons to get him out here to TEDx Detroit. Those are all my Simpsons DVDs in those people's hands. It's pretty funny. All right. All right. Nice. I look forward to seeing you soon and seeing the rest of you when we do. Thanks for paying attention.
Thanks.